Brad Keselowski did not hold back when asked on how he really feels about road course racing in NASCAR. Hello everybody, my name is Brody. Glad you tuned in to this episode because boy do we have a topic of discussion. Brad Keselowski, NASCAR Cup Series champion, was asked about how he really feels about NASCAR racing on road courses, and he really held back no punches when giving his reply. His comments are quite frankly a bit shocking, especially as a NASCAR fan who enjoys road course racing. So I'm going to go through each one of Brad Keselowski's comments. I'm going to provide my 2 cents as well as some analytical data to support and also critique Brad Keselowski's replies. So let's get right into it and let's form our own opinions on these comments as NASCAR fans. We need to build a context first as to why Brad Keselowski answered the question the way he did. So let's get into his first comment. Brad said, "I just put on my business owner hat and don't understand why the sport wants to run so many road courses." So Brad is coming at this question from a business owner's standpoint. There may be some driver and driver history bias with this reply as well, but let's just take Brad at his word and go with the whole race team owner context. Brad continues on and says, "As a business owner, it's the hardest races to sell sponsors for. It has the lowest attendance, the lowest ratings. It doesn't make sense to me. I went through and gathered as much data as I could, but the attendance figures are a bit murky as NASCAR does not publicly state or post the attendance figures often for their races, but there are a few key details we can analyze to further get a hold and grasp on the statements made by Brad. To be as accurate as possible, I went through every single NASCAR track, placed them into their respective categories, and calculated the average capacity for fans at these tracks. Super speedways, the average is 96,333. Intermediate ovals is 95,083. Short tracks is 75,833. And road courses is 74,983. So you can see where Brad is kind of coming from when he makes the statements that road courses have the least amount of fans in attendance because they have the least seating capacity in all of the categories of racetracks. Just looking at some photos from these road courses, here is Sonoma Raceway with a lot of fans missing in the stands. Here is the Charlotte Roval with a lot of fans missing in the stands. And obviously Circuit of the Americas does not sell out all the way, not nearly as much as F1 does. So there is some merit to Brad Keselowski's seating attendance argument in the aspect of seating capacity when looking at these averages. Continuing on to the next point Brad made about TV viewership, I went through and gathered as much data as I could. I went through the 2025 viewership numbers and I broke them down into their respective categories, that being the super speedways, the intermediate tracks, the short tracks, and the road courses. The average viewership for super speedways is 3.8 million. The average for road courses is 2.319 million. The average for short tracks is 2.187 million, and ovals, intermediate tracks, are 2.109 million. Now, this data is a bit contradictory as to what Brad Keselowski is saying. If the road courses really do get the lowest viewership numbers, why is road courses the second highest viewed track category from 2025? If you look at the stats on their pure value as I read them, Brad is most certainly wrong. But if we look at it in a deeper context, we can see where Brad is coming from. If I remove Circuit of the Americas from the average equation, the number significantly drops for the average viewership on road courses. The average drops to 1.957 million, putting road courses 200,000 behind the oval tracks. So if you want to take the numbers at their face value, you're more than certainly able to, and I can hear an argument as to why you'd want to do that, because the Daytona 500 can skew the numbers for the super speedways. The ovals have their crown jewel event races, so the numbers skew in each of those categories. But if you take out COTA, you can kind of see where Brad is coming from, but there are definitely two sides of the coin. Now for Brad's final comment about selling sponsorship at road courses and it being much harder than any other track, I can understand this, especially as a marketing student. Think about it. If you're a sponsor and you're looking for a racetrack to get your brand out there into the public eye, are you going to pick a oval track, a road course track, a short track, or a super speedway? I'm going to start with a super speedway because of how often your car will be on screen. Not factoring in all the pre-race and the social media and the promotions leading up to the race, your car, your brand is on screen a lot more often than any other track category. More often than not, the races go a lot longer as well, meaning your car has a more likely chance to be on TV if the races run longer and also if your car escapes the wrecks. Looking at mile and a halves, your car will probably be on screen a lot less, but your car has a lot more likely chance to be on screen if you compare it to a road course. The TV broadcast varies between mile and a halves, super speedways, and road courses. Road courses, the TV broadcast only focuses on 2 battles max at a time. And those battles consist of 1 to 2 cars. The only time you see more than 10 cars at a time is on the restarts. And if you're a midfield car, you're sponsoring a midfield car or a backmarker car, you might not even get to see your car for more than 2 seconds before the camera pans away. Meaning the road course sponsorship value diminishes a lot if you compare it to the other tracks these sponsors can go and sponsor these race cars at. That puts a lot more emphasis on the social media aspect and the promotion and the build up to the race. And you have to make sure there's a lot of fans at the race to view your car on pit lane, because you know the viewership numbers on TV aren't going to be as high and your car's not going to be on TV as much as you want it to be. Brad's comments don't stop there. He continues on and says, "We should be going places where the sponsors want to be there, the fans want to be there, and the TV gets the best ratings." Now, this is where the argument becomes a bit more subjective to the eye of the beholder, because Brad Keselowski is coming at this from a race car driver and a race team owner perspective. I think the sponsors that sponsor these cars at road courses want to be there, and I think the race fans who go to these racetracks also really want to be there. Perhaps these fans are in an isolated area where their only track nearest to them for NASCAR is a road course. Take me, for example. My closest track is Sonoma Raceway, and the next closest track is Las Vegas or Phoenix, another state over. That doesn't mean I go to Sonoma Raceway just because it's the closest in my proximity. It's because it's special to me. It's special because it's my home track and it's the closest I can ever get to NASCAR. So you bet I definitely want to be there, and I would be there regardless if that track was a super speedway or oval or road course, because I just want to go to see NASCAR racing regardless of if they make left turns or right-hand turns. That part of the argument kind of strayed away from the race fan point of view, but I can see where Brad is kind of coming from. The final comment from Brad: "I think a lot of fans identify NASCAR with ovals and enjoy it more than they do with road courses." Now, this part of the argument is mostly true. Now, as a race fan, as a NASCAR fan watching, when you think of NASCAR, you close your eyes and you have no bias to your home track, whether it's a super speedway or a road course or a short track. What do you think of when you think of NASCAR racing on a racetrack? You probably think of a 1.5 mile traditional oval. Now for the part about enjoying ovals more than road courses, that part is completely subjective. Value varies from each individual consumer, whether it's a product, a service, or in this case, NASCAR tracks. Not every single fan likes ovals more than road courses. Not every single fan likes ovals more than super speedways. It is completely subjective to the eye of the beholder, and Brad made a very subjective and generalized statement that I myself do not agree with. This begs the question, why do we need road course racing on the schedule? Road course racing to me has always been a way for NASCAR to show its diversity. It's diversity in the schedule. It's diversity with what these NASCAR drivers can do with these heavy stock cars. For years, it was Watkins Glen and Sonoma, the only two road courses on the schedule. Then we had a bit of a road course surge when the racing on road courses was a lot better than the ovals. This was in the late Gen 6 era. Now with the Gen 7 car, the road courses have dwindled down to just 4 in the 2026 season. Do I think NASCAR should get rid of road courses entirely? Absolutely not. NASCAR needs to be on road courses to show its diversity among the schedule, among the drivers, and the car itself. Different markets are reached and different markets are satisfied when NASCAR goes to these road courses. You look at the schedule and where these races are actually placed, it's all over the country. Sonoma, all the way on the West Coast. Watkins Glen, all the way on the East Coast. You have COTA, smack dab in Austin, Texas. So you have one in each sector of America. If you take that road course race away from these fans who probably only go to that one race because every other race is so far away from them, they might not ever pick up NASCAR again. It's about satisfying the needs of customers in different locations and geographical areas, and road course racing does that very well for NASCAR. Yeah, maybe the viewership is a bit down, but you have to understand the context. The Gen 7 car does not race very well on these road courses, not as well as the Gen 6 car did in the later stages when we got that surge of road course racing. You have to understand the context behind that. So in no way, shape, or form should NASCAR get rid of road course racing because it is a part of NASCAR. It is a small part, but it is a significant part for the race fans, for the sponsors, and the TV viewership. It may not seem that way in all the data and analytical studies, but it is a part of NASCAR and needs to continue to be a part of NASCAR. That's my 2 cents on the whole situation. What do you guys think of Brad Keselowski's comments? Do you agree with him? Do you not agree with him? Did my data I bring change your mind in any way? Let me know in the comments below. I'd really like to hear your reply to Brad, your reply to my video and my opinions. It's a pretty interesting topic of discussion, so I really would love to hear your comments down below. If you enjoyed this video and these styles of videos, it would mean a lot to me if you could leave a like or comment down your thoughts, or even subscribe if you would like to. It would mean a lot to me. I made this channel to connect to race fans like yourself, so your viewership means the world to me. I hope to see you in future videos, and as always guys, have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See ya.